Yeah, I see rec now.
Great. Yeah, we're recording.
Perfect. Very good. So yeah, with Erik Paulsen, and I'm Martin Marstrand and William Oracle, and yes, we're gonna have a conversation now. This is good.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. Thanks, Martin. And so I know this virus is top of mind, both from a humanitarian, like health aspect, but also the economical aspect is also is a factor. So yeah, would love to hear from you. You know, at a high level, where you see maybe the origins of this, and also where this is heading.
Yes, I just made a video today actually about Ho'oponopono, where I was talking very strongly about there being a responsibility that we all have to take for the emotions and the thoughts that we're having. And this is what I'm feeling very, very much. There might be some forces that have actually created this virus, but in the end, it's always our consciousness. It's always our creative power that is creating the things in our world. And the more and more we really take responsibility for that, I think we also have the possibility to change it. So the origins is really inside of ourselves. It is, I really truly believe that everything that we experience in this world actually is a creation from within, basically. So from that perspective, the universe is constantly trying to mirror us. It's constantly trying to give us a mirror of what we are creating. And I think it's high time that we start taking that mirror actively on, really taking it in.
Okay, so I know there have been speculations of whether this is coming from bats or other wild animals, versus some are speculating it's man-made. So you're not saying it. What you're saying is it doesn't really matter, who made it, Mother Nature or humans. It is our actions and feelings, or what we're doing with it, that's important right now.
Basically, yes. I will definitely say that I have been informing myself over a long time about different kinds of organizations that are definitely trying to make our awakening as difficult as possible. So it could be that they have created this virus, but in the end, it is basically just our inner power struggle, basically. It's the two powers inside of us, you could say, the angel and the demon inside of us, that are trying to find out who's going to win over our consciousness. It's basically a battle for our consciousness. Are we going to be in fear or in love? Consciousness state. So the more and more we realize that it's all about being in a state of love, of forgiveness, of unity, of seeing the world as a mirror, the more and more powerful we can get.
Okay, I mean that's pretty. It's a pretty bold perspective, because I think for the most part, I'd say 80% plus of the humanity, or the current consciousness, just because of this crisis and the uncertainty about the future, they're automatically in a fear state.
Yeah.
So like how can we as individuals, or as a consciousness, transform that into love?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's a deep question. I mean, all of us have our own way of dealing with fear, be it not ignoring it, not feeling it, or watching television, or having sex, or whatever it is, basically. But what I'm saying is, by saying yes to fear, we are no longer in fear of fear itself. Fear is a very normal thing, being a human. So the more and more we realize that, wow, actually now something is taking over inside of me, I'm kind of losing control, I'm reacting instead of acting, I can then take the power back and really question my thoughts, my actions, my emotions. Because fear is very reaction-based. Something comes and we feel like we have to react on this fear. But I mean, if a bear is coming towards you, of course you have to react. But towards this virus, the most important thing is staying in the consciousness of love. So for me, it starts with the breathing. Start by realizing that I'm not the emotions, I'm not the thoughts, I'm not the body, I am the breath. So just breathing in and out and keeping the focus on this breath is the most important thing for me, because then I realize, like, whatever emotion, whatever thought is there that is trying to create some fear inside of me, I can always return to this breath. This breath will always bring me out of any emotion. And what I do then is to make sound. I make sounds with the emotions so that I'm no longer a victim of the emotions, and I can actively do something to reduce the fear. But it's very important to understand that we are not the emotions. We humans tend to identify with whatever we experience, and that is a trap. We are not our experiences. We are the experiencer having an experience.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. And then, so you answered, all right, when fear comes, instead of pushing it away or reacting to it in whatever patterns that we've developed in the past, you're saying it's okay to embrace it and feel it and go through it and get back to your breath, get back to this.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And hug other people, get together with other people and sing, for example. And in German, they have a saying like, where the people sing, you should settle, because bad people don't sing. So if you're together with other people, you're singing, you're playing theater, you're making jokes, you're kind of lifting the spirits. I mean, humans are experts in that. We've gone through so many crises, and you can see, like, in the worst crisis, people develop this special kind of humor, so that they don't have to feel all the fear all the time. So it's really important not to identify with it and do everything in our power to just stay in that light, loving state of mind. And the wonderful thing about that state is that we can then have other influx of energy, of thoughts coming to us. You know, fear limits our possibilities, our consciousness, but love expands it, sees multiple perspectives. Let us understand that it's not one person or one entity doing this, but consciousness itself is creating this experience. So it's not blaming anyone, it's taking responsibility, and it's realizing that the source is basically us. So breathing in that love consciousness is a journey in itself, but it's really, I think the most important message here is moving from victim consciousness to creator consciousness and having the fun about it. I mean, we have somehow learned to have fear of God, to have fear of the creational part inside of us. And we all have this amazing God inside of us that we are afraid of. We're afraid of making a mistake and then feeling judged about it, or judging ourselves for a mistake that causes other people harm. I mean, we have to come to terms with us being the gods we've been waiting for.
Wow. Okay. A lot of good points. So let me try to break some of those. So, you know, with singing, I agree 100%. With the hugging, so maybe, you know, now there's a lot to say about social distancing. So maybe virtual hugs or or online hugs. And then but yeah, how do you compensate for that? You know, because we're also social creatures, right? And I think you know, I don't know, I mean, if you look at some of the like, you know, Italy or, you know, Iran for that matter, the cultures are very rooted in social and also, like, you know, physical contact. And so I don't, maybe that's one of the reasons for the outgrowth of this virus, but still we're social creatures, and so how do we compensate that in this new protocol of, you know, social distancing?
I just saw a video from Italy the other day where I got very inspired, people singing opera to each other from the balconies, you know, and really, I mean, for me, sound is just one of the most powerful tools we have as a human. So we can sing to each other. We can stand from a distance and sing to each other, and I'm sure it will make us laugh or smile. You know, it's not about perfection. It's just some expression. Or we can play theater from 3 meters of distance, or we can really just hug like that. I mean, we can hug ourselves. But it is true, we should keep a distance from each other in these times. But yeah, but I think at least we can just stand opposite each other and just send love. This is something that I'm experimenting a lot with, because there's something very powerful happening here with us humans. So the more and more we can focus the power here and in our heart together, we can actually send energy to each other. And we can make experiments where we actually then see if we can feel something when somebody's sending a kind of a love wave to each other. Or we can imagine that we're all engulfed in this wonderful loving energy. We have a very, very powerful tool with our heart and with our consciousness. And these times where we can't really be near, we can also experiment that and see how that works, you know, to see if I'm sending you love right now and are you receiving it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could do it right now. So let's close our eyes.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah. And I'm just going to send you love from my heart, from my consciousness, and don't expect anything. Just see what kind of phenomenon are happening in your body right now. I breathe in, I breathe out. I feel my feet on the ground. And I send you love. Now, while I'm sitting here, I'm imagining a cocoon of golden light around you. And I see the entire room you're sitting in, bright, shining bright light, and just this love feeling, this love frequency. And if you imagine the same, there can be this love wave from you to me and back, and it gets powerful and more powerful as we go. And the beautiful thing about sharing is sometimes it's easier to share love with others than to accept it from ourselves. Sometimes it's easier to love others than ourselves. So this way we can all receive love. I'm feeling this tingling down my head, down the head and down the body, and I feel this warmth and this goosebumps all over my body, and my body is smiling.
Yes, same with me. Yeah.
What are you sensing?
Yeah, I definitely felt also a tingling in my fingers and my spine. So, wow, very, very unexpected, but sweet and powerful.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about these experiments is that they don't have to have success. It's just a child's play, a game, to see what do I sense when somebody's sending me love. You know? And then we can let go of expectation. I have to feel something, or I should feel something. No, what do I actually feel when somebody's sending me? And we don't need proof. It's just a beautiful game. And I love this game. I love sending love and I love receiving love. It's one of the most beautiful things that I can experience. And now imagine a whole group of people doing this, just sending each other love and filling up this room that is in between us, and then sending out this love wave to the whole planet right now, to everyone. that we all feel engulfed in this love and this joy and this gratefulness. Every human being is wonderful, is perfect in its own way. I breathe in and breathe out, and I imagine how this love goes into every cell of my body. Every cell is full of light and joy and happiness. And this is also the most amazing way to fill ourselves up. Everyone that's sick at the moment or having some trouble with their body or their consciousness can send this love to themselves as well. It's possible. And we can imagine that the whole universe loves us, and we can receive this love through our channel, through our energy channel. Yeah. We are blessed beings. And the next thing is to realize that there are so many beings out there in the universe right now sending us this love, waiting for the moment that we are ready to receive their love, their wisdom, their presence, their support. And all it takes is this yes, to say, yes, I want to receive more love. Yes, I want to receive more joy, more blessings, more contact. Yes, I'm ready. All of these entities need this statement from you. Unconscious or consciously, they need some kind of proof that you want this. Because free will is the most powerful law in the universe. It's respected all over. Right now, I'm sending you love all around your head, all around your body. Wishing that every cell in your body feels this love. I'm so grateful for this moment. I breathe in, breathe out. And now I'm feeling lots of beings, entities joining in this moment. Feels like a lot of humans are joining in as well. Maybe this is in the future, I don't know, but it feels like we're definitely not alone. So many joining us. And now I'm very curious what you are sensing and feeling.
I'm feeling a sense of expansion, trust, light, and lightness. And also, and sort of, inner power as well.
Oh, how beautiful. I feel a very strong feeling in my heart chakra and in the center of my chest, tingling, and on my feet, over my head, goosebumps all over, and lots of gratitude for this space that we create together. Just ecstatic gratefulness inside of my heart chakra. And I feel you receiving it. And this is the biggest gift for me and for so many entities when we are allowed to give. This is so beautiful. And when I give, I receive as well. It's this constant flow. The more I give, the more I receive. And this is basically the cosmic principle of energy, of love. There is enough for everyone. And we all have it inside of ourselves. We don't need it from outside. We have it inside of ourselves. And I feel that the strongest when I'm allowed to give. Ah. And now I'm sending all of this love to all the people in fear, or people that are sick, or all the doctors and nurses that are doing their wonderful job all around the planet, all the people supporting other people. I'm sending all of these people this love directly into their hearts. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you. Wow, thank you. And now I feel this ecstatic expansion in my heart chakra going very far out. It's very, very beautiful. It's the deepest wish for me that every human being can feel this right now. That we all can feel this connection, this beauty, this love for ourselves and others, and feel that we are loved by so many beings in human form and outside of human form. The planet loves us, the sky loves us. We are very much loved. And all we need to do is to choose to feel it, to choose to say, I've had enough of suffering experiences. I now want to feel loved. I want to feel at one with everything. I'm ready to let go of the identification with pain, with ego, with separation. And sometimes saying this out loud can be very powerful, as you feel. I have no idea why I'm laughing right now, but it's just when the heart is full, it starts laughing, and then then it all becomes this cosmic joke, like everything is just it feels like my heart chakra is about to explode. Oh, this is it's so interesting because it kind of expands the heart chakra. Like this is like so much energy that just want to flow through. It's like it just laughs. Oh, my whole body starts shaking. It's wonderful, beautiful. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for this wonderful moment. Oh, this is just. Oh. 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 Wow.
So is laughing good for immunity?
For what?
For immunity.
Yes, definitely. I think there's nothing better. I think laughter is like makes you very healthy. It's yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. The funny thing is that there was no thought or nothing that made it funny. It
Right.
just really it really comes out of the heart. It's like, yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you you know, I mean, they're probably in the next for the next whatever, you know, weeks or month, probably,
Yeah.
you know, there won't be many public situations, right? But if you're walking around joyful, uh, how do you account for other people that might be feeling worried or actually physically affected by this, or
Yeah.
financially? How do you how do you you know, how can you retain your joy and empower them without like kind of
Mm.
like insulting them, you know?
Yes, it's a wonderful question. And just to be clear, I'm also financially suffering from this, definitely. And it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a tough year for many and for me as well. But I really try to have as much compassion with everyone. I've felt so many painful situations myself. I mean, I really deeply feel with humanity, and I really try to convey that. I just pray that we can get a distance enough from our own suffering to realize that it's not personal.
Mm-hmm.
That no suffering, however bad, is personal. It is just part of the human experience. So what I always try to do with everyone, be that a client or anyone I meet anywhere, is to just be very compassionate and listen to people. That's what I do. I listen to people. If they have experienced pain, I really want them to feel like I somehow can feel with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are so many people experiencing so many horrible things right now, and it's just part of being human, I guess. And I want everyone to feel understood and felt and loved in that sense. And I think if everyone can experience that somebody, be it me or somebody else, actually understands, actually listens, maybe they're also then able to at least smile a little bit about the situation. And we humans have this wonderful ability to create gallows humor. And I think it's a appropriate time for that. I mean, during the how do you say, the Black Death, during in the medieval times, there was this plague, you know, and in this time there also were people traveling from from town to town, singing and creating laughter. And I really believe that it's possible to have that compassion with people and really understand people's suffering, and at the same time trying to lighten up their spirits with music, with jokes, with yeah, with the light inner feeling. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I never want to laugh off somebody. I have the deepest respect for every human condition.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so many very deeply powerful and feelings myself. And if somebody would come in the room and start laughing at that time, I would be very angry. So I really understand that. It's really a laughter with people. I just want to inspire people to see it's not just me suffering, it's all of us. And if it's all of us suffering, then maybe we could feel less alone with it, more united in the pain, and then also be able to laugh about it somehow, or laugh about the situation. Because yeah, it really is an amazing ability that we humans have to be able to lift up our spirits with laughter in the most horrible and painful situations. You know, I'll tell you a story. My grandfather was in Sachsenhausen, one of the concentration camps here in Germany. And it's actually a very beautiful story as well, because he met my granduncle there, and my granduncle showed him a photo of my grandmother, and he fell in love with my grandmother just through this photo. And he stuck out 2 to 3 years, something like that, in Sachsenhausen, and he managed to survive. And he found my grandmother, and they married. And because of that, my mother exists. You know, wow. It's a very beautiful story. So out of that deep felt horror that happened in Sachsenhausen, something very beautiful of love happened. And I was there about 4 days ago. And it's the darkest place I've been until now. I cried the entire time. I prayed the entire time. And then I went down into the potato basement where they were cleaning the vegetables. And they had humorous paintings on the wall. It was just very fascinating for me to see that in the deepest, darkest space that humans can create, humans manage to survive through humor. Seeing something funny and something light about this most dark place. And I was very inspired by that. And then I prayed, and I did a lot of Ho'oponopono there, and it was very powerful and very beautiful as well. But yeah, I really can feel with the depth of the pain with humans, and I think because of that also I can laugh, because it's in me. I'm not separating myself from it.
That's great. That's great. So, but yeah, so when it comes to how you're feeling, so you definitely have the choice of being joyful or worry or be fearful. At the same time, you're saying it's fine to walk around and retain your inner joy regardless of how others are reacting or feeling. And you're saying if you and you're saying you can actually empower them by with your joy and with laughter and with
as long as it comes from a compassionate heart and not feeling better than them or somehow, then I think they can actually feel it, because you're just trying to inspire them to let go of the fear spiral. And I think that's the most dangerous thing about this whole situation, is the fear state that many people are in. Because I really want to say something about death as well. We really don't need to fear death. Death is the most beautiful journey we will have while incarnated. I really have this strong memory that death is, if you allow death to happen, if you can let go and know that whatever comes after, or if there's nothing after, whatever happens, it will be okay. It will be wonderful if you can let go into that feeling. My remembrance of death is the biggest, most amazing party you will ever experience, because you get to see all of your family, all the people you love, everything that you've forgotten to have this life on this earth. You get to remember everything that you ever experienced. It's like the most amazing journey, because you go from a very dark place to a very open, loving, high frequency space. So I just wanted to say that to everyone that is afraid of death. You really do not need to fear death. It's kind of stealing a beautiful experience from yourself. I mean, if it's your time to go, then it's time to go, and it's not the end of the journey. I mean, I remember so many past lives, so many other entities that I am also. It's for me, it's impossible to think that we only live once. But hey, I could be wrong, and that would be okay as well. If this is the end, that's the end, and I'm very grateful for every moment I've had here. So. I think if we can let go of that fear of death, we don't have to be so fearful. We can just love and enjoy the moments we have with our loved ones.
Yeah, no, that's very, very beautiful how you put it. So, yeah, I mean, I think people are afraid of dying. They're all I think besides that, they're also afraid of getting the disease and not knowing what's going to happen to them, and the fact that they, you know, that then they'll need to be in isolation. So
yeah,
and also and I think a lot of people are fearing like financial struggles, or maybe they're already in it. You know, they're going to be, you know, they're not going to be working, or their income's going to be affected, or their companies are going to go under, or you know, do you have any words for them?
Yes, it might be that this will be a very difficult time, but it doesn't really have to be that. I think it's really a new start. I mean, we have so many entities, companies, systems that are not really working in the name of love. They're working in the name of fear of separation. So I think this can be a new beginning. If we allow ourselves to say that, yes, this might be difficult, but I'm grateful for having a body. I'm grateful for having people that love me. I'm grateful for that, and that if we focus on what we have and what we're grateful for, I think it can be a beautiful awakening. And I think a lot of technologies and new companies will start because of this consciousness shift that is happening to us, because we have to now look within. We're all forced to do our homework, our emotional, spiritual homework. So I really encourage everyone to look at this as a beautiful new beginning, where we also question, how much do we need? What makes you really happy? You know, what is it? And of course, we all need a roof over our head, and we all need food and so forth. And I think so many new projects will arise from this if we just manage to ride this wave in the state of trust, of love, of letting go, and unity, being united in this.
So you see this as a good opportunity to, you know, if you're staying at home, if you have to stay at home, to do some inner work.
Yes, it's time to. In German, you say, look at everything that you have closed into a box. You know, take up those jars and really say, like, all the things that I didn't want to feel in the last time, in the last years or whatever, because I didn't have time. Maybe this is a good time to actually allow myself to feel sadness. So if my whole company is breaking down, maybe this is a good opportunity to feel that and to express that feeling. And I can really say, if we allow ourselves to feel the feelings instead of being afraid of them, the most amazing joys and states of trust, of love can come. So it is really, this moment has such an amazing potential for awakening, where we don't need so many things to be happy. And we can be really grateful for the things that we have, like the family we have, the friends we have, the body we have, the place we get to live, you know, the water. I mean, just to be grateful for the most basic things that we have in this world, that we still have a climate that doesn't tear us down, you know, that we still don't have tornadoes every day, but still get to live in more or less a stable climate. I mean, I think we're going to have a difficult time. It's going to be tough, but I think it's going to be exactly what we need to wake up.
Martin, so can I come back to the first question about, like, Mother Nature or man-made. So I think,
Yeah.
that question is, people are saying, well, they want to point a finger, right, and say, well, okay, well, is it Mother Nature and why, or is it man and why? So I think I think if you go beyond that, like the victimhood thing, but if you ask, like, why, maybe there might be some inspiring answers that come out of it. I'm just, like, for myself, right? I mean, if it is truly Mother Nature, I can think of, okay, maybe we should stop eating wild animals, or maybe we should stop eating animals altogether, right? Or what is this message that Mother Nature is trying to give us, versus if it's man-made, what's their motive, right? I mean, are they, is it like a depopulation strategy, or is it an, economic motive behind it, or, so like, if you were to pick between man-made versus Mother Nature, do you have any insights?
I can check. What I hear is definitely man-made.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The more I know, the more I come to understand that I don't know. If you understand the thing. So it could be that it's man-made, but we just really have to stop blaming anyone else than us.
Okay. So yeah, again, so let's not go through the blame, right? Because right now it's not going to help us. If China did it, or America did it, or Russians did it, or whoever, right? But out of curiosity and better planning and being better prepared, can you sense any, like, what's their motives? Because also one of the other conspiracy theories that I'm hearing is, it's a biological weapon for specific races. For example, the Iranians, right? And the Italians got a wind of it because their genetic sequence is similar to the Iranians. So that's one of the theories floating out there. But can you sense what's the motive?
I've investigated secret groups for a long time, like for the last 10 years or so. And for me, it's very clear that we have groups on this planet that are partly human and partly also extraterrestrial, and they're in contact, that are trying to keep us as enslaved, basically. And if all you need to do is just watch normal media anywhere in the world, and you'll see that the focus is on what is wrong and what makes us afraid. So for me, this is just a part of this. You could say that it's against Iranian, whatever. For me, it's basically just to understand that we have forces on this planet that we have asked to do this for us collectively, that we have empowered with our fear and with our subconscious approval to create fear, havoc, and so forth for us. It is the inner pain body manifested in the outside world. So we can research and find somebody to blame, but it will not solve it. What will solve it is if we can take responsibility for that part inside of us.
Okay. So sorry, Martin. I get the responsibility aspect, right? Yeah. I think getting more light on what are their motives. So enslavement, you said one motive, right?
Yes. Depopulation and control, basically. Yes. It's the same game the entire time. They want to keep us separated, they want to keep us in fear, and they want to keep us dumbed down. So television, bad food, low consciousness. You know, this virus only has an impact on us because we have been dumbed down for such a long time through food, through television, through consciousness, through religions. We are kept in a minimum energy state. Unless we awaken, it's easier for us to get ill because we're not energizing our body. So what we just did before with our meditation is energizing our body. And that fully energized body in a certain consciousness just cannot get ill anymore. So you can say that their motive is definitely a dark one, basically they want to keep control. They want to keep in control, and they are afraid of losing control because they know that we are the most powerful beings on this planet. When our consciousness awakens and unifies with other consciousness and other people, and we realize that we have nothing to fear, all fear exists inside of us, and we know how to handle that fear, we are immensely powerful. And that's their biggest fear. So they're trying to manipulate our awakening time by creating waves of migrants coming to Europe, diseases, anything they can basically create in order to keep us in a fear state. Because the moment we let go of fear and we embrace love and unity consciousness, they have no power over us. They lose their entire colony.
So, okay. So speaking a little bit more in like conspiracy language, right? The elite or the globalist or the, I don't know, some of these like families. So you're saying some of these are, they could also not be fully human. They could have some extraterrestrial.
Well, for me, it's becoming, I don't have proof, but it's quite clear for me when I ask my heart that the Nazis did survive the Second World War, did move to the South Pole, and did unite with the reptilians to get technology that is way more advanced than we have access to right now, and that they've been an important factor in the international politics since, without us knowing it. And that we have already space programs on Mars and beyond that has access to very powerful consciousness. And for me, it comes down to that point. Are we ready to realize that we have been living an illusion for the last 70 years? And are we willing to forgive and be grateful for that experience that we have had, and not blame them and not create martial law in order to kill them? I think this is the core message, that we still think on this planet that if there are somebody bad out there, be that Osama bin Laden or whoever, the world will get better the moment we kill them. Bullshit. You know, Hitler is coming back. Hitler lives in the streets in Berlin. I mean, we don't kill the devil by killing a person. You just don't. It's in us. It's inside of us. So what we have to realize is these forces are inside of us. And they're represented in the outer world, yes. But they are really inside of us. The only one we can blame for all of that is us. And the moment we have that consciousness, we are immensely powerful. And I continue to make experiences with demons in Berlin, and I've had tremendous success with this type of consciousness. It's been like a BAM experience for me, because walking through Berlin, in the night, I often have to encounter demons. And it's quite, I have to encounter dead people, I have to encounter demons, and many different creatures that live in the fourth dimension that I have access to. And I've had to learn how to deal with them. In the beginning, I tried to protect myself, then I tried to just pray, then I tried to sending them away. And then I realized that the moment I take responsibility for them and say that they are a creation of me, that I am the creator of them, I actually have the power to send them into the light. And that, I just get goosebumps all over me, because I'm experiencing in a very small manner what I really think will be the solution to this power struggle that we have on this planet.
So, I mean, beautifully put. I think for the average person, I mean, I think your state of evolution is highly evolved and advanced. I think for most people, they probably won't have any access to the fourth dimension, or may not necessarily relate to what you're saying about, you know, about demons or angels or, you know, dead or whatever, right? But that's great. I mean, that's great and beautiful that you're having those experiences and insights. Earlier you mentioned like martial law. I mean, one of the other fears that people have, and it's, you know, it's with this, you know, with these lockdowns and shutdowns and, you know, military out in the street. I mean, it's becoming like, you know, it's kind of like war zone scenes, you know. I mean, it's becoming, you know, it's almost you know, it's a movie, but it's becoming real. So yeah, yeah, so two questions. One is, to what extent do you see this thing going, right? I mean, is this like the end of capitalism, and the West and the modern West is becoming communist, right? And you know, the government's taking over the industries and everything's becoming nationalized? Or you're saying, no, you know, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So that's my first question. And the second question, which I think you've been sort of repeatedly hammering on it, is like, whatever happens, the responsibility and the power is within you. The way you want to react in a capitalistic system or a communist system, or, you know, with whatever. But maybe you can clarify, like, you know, what should we possibly prepare for? I mean, should we, you know, I mean, if, you know, if it's going to be a turning point of capitalism into communism, right? Should we just take all our money out of the bank, and, you know, and so?
No, I really don't recommend doing anything like that, and especially no action out of fear. The thing is that every action you do out of fear creates more fear. So if you're going to do anything, try to find a place inside of you that is calm.
Okay.
That is the most important thing. Whatever you do, acting out of panic and acting out of fear will not get you where you want to go. So that is the most important thing. So I think we have to try to activate the inner guidance. It's impossible for me to sit here and say to people exactly what they need to do. What I really want to encourage them is to breathe and to realize that we have a higher self that is guiding us in every moment. And what we need to do is to be calm, to breathe, and to ask for help, to ask for guidance from my higher self and from our lower self. And this might be strange for people, but that is the most important thing, because every moment you can't say that you have to do this in this moment or that in that moment, because every moment needs intelligence. It needs very special attention. And we all have this guidance inside of ourselves. We've just forgotten it. And we've been told that we need to pray to somebody to have that power, but we don't. We just need to say, I have it. I want to connect to that higher self, to that part of me that knows, and I trust that I will be guided. So that is the most important thing. So if your inner guidance says, take out your money now, and you feel like it's not coming from fear, but from trust and love, then that is probably the right thing to do for you.
Okay.
But there's no one right thing to do right now. I think the most important thing is that we all try not to act out of fear.
Okay. Okay.
Because the more we act out of fear, the more the governments actually are allowed to hit us down. And the more they hit us down, the more fear we will have and the more chaos will be. So
Right.
this is actually not a very bad situation. It just looks like it, but it's not a very bad situation. Actually, we can ride through this without, some people will die, yes, but without big damages if we manage to stay in a state of love, of trust. And if the Christians believe in Jesus and that he gives them that trust, then wonderful. You know, I'm not judging anyone, whatever it is that they pray to, that makes them feel calm. But that state of calm, of peace, of trust is the answer.
Okay. Okay. I mean, the good news is China's out of it, right? Or at least it flattened the curve, or not flattened the curve, but it's going in a downward trending, right? So, so the question is, you know, how is Europe and US gonna look like? Are we, you know, do we kind of miss that early suppression of flattening the curve, or because we just were so casual about it, we're kind of missed that, and we're going to be looking at twice the amount of impact, or you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, in Berlin, they haven't had a lockdown yet. In Norway, they have. In Spain, they have. In Italy, they have. It's kind of hard to say, but I think what will really be important is what kind of state people end up being in. If they're panicking, this could go really shitwire, or whatever you say. It can really be bad. But if people manage to stay in a state of trust and be grateful for this situation, this time they have with the family, I think we can roll through this quite easily. But it really depends on the state of consciousness of the people. That's why I'm praying. That's why the most important thing for me right now is just sending out this love and this joy, that we all understand that this is a wonderful opportunity, and that we let go of what we have to let go of. Yes, probably we all have to let go of something in this time, but also see what we're getting.
Okay. I mean, so so I understand this factor, right? Hey, the more fearful you're going to be, the more, you know, the more power you're going to give away to the government or to like whatever, right? And so it's going to be a cycle. Now, as far as like this, you know, the level of love or trust or resilience that we have, you know, like how would you compare again the West, meaning Europe and US, versus China, who's had a fairly successful exit out of this situation? You know, do you feel like the West is more, they're more fearful than the Chinese, or they're the same, or they're less? Because I think you're saying it really depends on how you know, how are they going to respond to this?
I actually feel like the West is inspired by China. If you look at Italy, they quite soon actually closed down the country the same way that the Chinese closed down regions of the country. So I think they're inspired by China, and they're trying to do the same thing. So I don't know why still Germany is so open. I kind of enjoy it, because I think it's a very fragile state that we're in, because if we lock down too long and people get too agitated, this can really be the end of our civilization. If people really panic and the worst thing can happen, then it can be really, really bad for our economy for a long time. But it does not have to be that way. So I think locking down parts of our society is good for the time, definitely. But I think we need information. So I think it's good that we're doing this kind of thing, and that people try to stay calm as possible. And it's kind of difficult to do as China in Europe, because we're not a dictatorship. But I think governments are in a very difficult situation. So I have a lot of compassion with all the leaders having to do really, really difficult decisions, and they most probably get judged in a negative way, whatever they do. So I have a lot of compassion with leaders right now. This must be a very difficult time. But I think we can ride through this without the most massive power. And I also encourage the people to look at Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia.com and check out Randy Kramer. Randy Kramer is an ex-Marine. He's served on Mars, he says, and the Mars Defense Force. It's just very interesting to hear what he has to say. It's very credible for me. And he talks about there being a possibility of a fake alien invasion this year. And for me, it could be part of it. Maybe some forces are trying to create big, massive amounts of fear in our society that will somehow be good for their agenda with creating a false invasion or whatever. I don't know. It could be part of an agenda to actually release consciousness of there being secret space programs, that the governments are in contact with extraterrestrials and so forth. I think actually what Randy Kramer says is that he's being encouraged by his superiors to go out and speak about these things. So I think there are a lot of people in this secret programs that actually want this information to come out, and they want this highly evolved civilization on a technological plane to be united with our civilization. So it could be part of that.
Interesting. So, but is this are they physical beings or not non-physical beings?
Yes, humans. If you want to research something, there have been claims of a lot of very highly educated people disappearing in national parks in the US. There have been some police officers checking out this, and they're saying that it's just amazing what kind of amounts of doctors and professors and so forth in many different subjects just disappearing. And the people that are with them walk through the forest, and they see them, they turn around, and the person has walked 5 meters into someplace in the forest, and they just disappear.
Wow.
No bear or no falling down or no corpses. They just disappear in these national parks. I think, I really feel like it's true. So if I can recommend everybody to kind of open themselves up for the possibility that there are fractions on our planet that have highly developed technology. Like, that's why I also said to you yesterday, watching Star Trek Picard in Amazon Prime, just to see what kind of technology is shown in sci-fi films, because I really believe that sci-fi films are kind of a way of portraying realities already existing, that we get accustomed to that. They are, for example, have these machines, replicators, that can basically create any food you want. Like stack, boom, out of some components, they manage to manifest all kinds of food, for example. Or Randy Kramer talks about terraforming technology. So talks about them having received technology from other extraterrestrial races, where they can actually create a planet or make a planet that exists that is like Mars, that has a really bad atmosphere, make it become more like the Earth again. Like, they have really, really advanced technology. So all of this climate hysteria might be for nothing. If they have the technology to make it all good again, I mean, would be amazing. I'm just saying we have to find out what the truth is. I don't know, but it feels very true to me.
Okay. So, okay.
And I'm also saying that because that will be the start of so many businesses.
I see.
If we realize now that the amount of energy and money being invested into solar, into hydro energy, or into all forms of these kinds of natural energy sources might be for nothing, because there are already amazing technology existing out there. I mean, it could be interesting perspectives for people making investments right now.
Interesting. Okay. So, okay. So kind of getting back to this, again, one of the reasons fear is high is like because the future seems so uncertain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of it is like, okay, am I gonna make it or am I gonna die? I think that's one calculation. But the other one is like, okay, even if I make it, how's the new world going to look like? Are we going to have this invasion by, and it's going to be a new world order, or is it going to be martial law, or is it going to be communism, or is it going to be, no, it's going to be pretty much everything's going to be back to normal. I think that's what also a lot of the I think, and I think that's why the market is so volatile and freaking out. I mean, one in the US, it's like, you know 1,000 points up and then 2,000 down the next day, and this volatility because of this huge uncertainty is of what's going to happen. Can you maybe shed some light on where you see the realm of possibility? I mean, I think maybe I don't know, maybe all of it is possible, but which one is probably the most probable in your estimation or insight?
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry. It's as you say, there's so many possibilities. I really don't know what to say there.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's when I feel into the future, it makes me sad in a way, because humanity tends to repeat the experiences we've had before. But I say again, and maybe I'm repeating myself, but I think the most important thing again is to realize that we are the creators again. So we have this normal tendency to fight back. If something comes towards you, we have to defend ourselves and we have to fight back. And that's kind of our consciousness. So we're kind of combating with our reality and trying to survive. And it's understandable when a bear comes, you have to defend yourself or run, yes. But there's so many life situations where we have to realize that if we can accept it and say yes to it, we then have other possibilities to actually make a different choice, make a bold choice. But if we're in the fighting mode, we will definitely be victims of fear, of possible manipulation. So again, it's really depends on the state we are in. So I think we're being tried to see how far can we manipulate, how far can they manipulate mankind into fear consciousness. And the more we react with love, with saying, I don't buy it, it's just too ridiculous, it's just, okay, I can lose my money, okay, it will be horrible, but I will still live. If we react with that consciousness of love, I think they will start panicking.
I see. Okay.
And that will be very interesting. So when it comes to investment, as you see, a lot of volatility. I love property, I love gold, and probably having money in the bank to buy shares or buy things is a good thing right now, but it can all go haywire. I mean, yeah, I'm not a financial expert, I guess. Yeah, but that is just the most profound message that I have, that it's really up to us how we react, or do we react, or do we see something, breathe, keep breathing until we get a clear answer, and then act. I think that will be the changing point, if we react or act.
Okay, awesome. Okay, perfect. I know it's getting late out there, so maybe we can.
It's good. I mean, as you wish, but I'm very grateful for this. This is wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, why don't we conclude, and then we can maybe do a few more of these.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been very, very enlightening, inspiring too.
Thank you. The same.
Yeah, and
we can end this now, and I would be happy to do this again. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this, and yeah, I'm grateful that you ask questions.
I I appreciate and love your answers. Thank you, Martin. I'm going to
Thank
stop
you.
the recording.
Yeah.